Hello, dog lover. My name is Saro. I'm a dog trainer. I also coach dog owners. Welcome to another session of live with Saro Dog Training. I have a theme for tonight. I'm going to talk about why is it that when you say I've done everything and my dog is still misbehaving. It's driving me crazy. So I'm going to explain and tell you why that's happening. We're going to answer questions, and it's going to be a good evening to talk about dogs. So welcome back, and thank you for being here. I see that Star Lighting is here, Alexa is here. Hi, thank you for being here. I have lots of things to talk about tonight as well. If you have any questions, make sure that you type them in and I'll answer them right away. And we're going to start, the show tonight. I'm going to talk about why is it that you feel that you've done everything and your dog is still misbehaving. There are several things that are happening that it's causing you to have this issue, and it's causing you to have this problem with your dog. So I'm going to go through a few of those reasons why is it that's happening. But meanwhile, let me know if you're new here. Let me know if you're first time that you're dropping by on my channel. Introduce yourself, please. And if you're new, just make sure to subscribe to my channel as well and hit the bell icon as well to get notified as soon as I go live or I post a new video every week. And also, there is this option of chat, and it's called Super Chat. Let me see if I can show you that. So if you go to, that's the one, yes, transitioning here. If you go over here, you will see this icon Super Chat, and whoever is donating to the channel today, $20 or more, I'm going to be donating this money to the rescue organization that I support. Plus, you're going to get a digital copy of my book for free. You're going to get a digital copy of my book if you donate $20 or more. So you're going to get a book, plus I'll be donating this money to the rescue organization, the local rescue organization. It's called A Voice for Paws. They're a great rescue organization. They're a small rescue organization. They help a lot of dogs, and they make a difference, actually. So make sure that if you are able to donate any amount over $20, you will be eligible to receive a digital copy of my published book, Dog's 5 Essential Needs, the 5 things your dog requires to have a healthy and happy dog. So let's get started and let's talk about why is it that your dog is still driving you crazy, and it's still, you've done everything and nothing is working. So one of the first reasons I would say is because in your mind you think you've done everything and nothing has worked. Maybe you're taking a little bit of information from here, a little bit of information from there, and you tried it and it didn't work, and you say and you feel that it doesn't work. The problem with this method of picking a little bit from here and there is that you can get confused. Your dog also gets confused. But in general, what happens when dogs misbehave? They're barking or doing any behavior that they're doing, and you, for example, you're saying, my dog is driving me crazy and I don't know what's going on, and I've done everything and nothing is working, and I don't know what to do. If your dog is misbehaving, I want you to understand that it's a signal, it's a sign that your dog is giving you, that it feels stressed, anxious, and something is wrong, not only with your dog, but something is wrong with your life, to be honest with you. When a dog is misbehaving and is stressed, it's a sign that your life, the life that you have, and the family issue, there might be a family issue, there might be something that is bothering you personally or your family, and because your dog is involved in your family, in your life, it gets stressed. It absorbs that negativity and reacts. Now, dogs, obviously, they can't have a chat with us. They can't sit down and say, you know what, Saro, uh, you had a bad day at work, and I feel you, and I'm gonna have a crappy day like you as well, and I'm gonna be stressed. They can't really talk to us like that. What they do, they react. Instead, they react. They do things. They behave certain way. They sense all this negativity, and they react. So that's the reason why your dog in general is misbehaving. They don't want to be living a negative, stressful life. They want to live a happy life. But if you or your family is causing them uh, to misbehave, they to get stressed, they get stressed, right? So that's the reason why. I'm not sure if I'm live, but it looks like I'm live. Okay. Can you please, if anybody is watching, can you please type in if you can hear me or see me? I'm not getting a good vibe that I'm live. Can you tell me if I'm live or not? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Is there anything wrong here? Technically, I'm not sure if I'm doing everything right. Everything seems to be okay. Let me see if I'm doing everything right. I'm not sure if I'm live. It says live now. Everything seems to be normal. Okay. So if you're live, can you please type in and let me know if you are able to hear me and see me, and if everything is okay. Okay. And my dogs are in the background. My dog is on the background. Looks like I'm live. Okay. Do I have to do that? Can you hear me now? Alright. I'm not sure if everything is going well. Okay. So I was talking about, why is it that you've done everything and nothing is working? Let me just check over here to see if I'm live. Yeah. Says it's right. Okay. And it seems to be going. All right. So that's number one. Number one reason, because you don't have yourself, your lifestyle, something is stressing you out, something is bothering you, something is not balanced in your life. Therefore, your dog feels like there's something going on in you. And because dogs are very emotional, they're very sensitive animals in general. They pick up on these emotional disconnection and emotional stress that we have, and they react to it. And they react the way that, they say to, to you that there's something wrong and I need help. So if your dog is misbehaving, it's not because it's trying to drive you crazy or anything. It's just a signal that they're giving you and they want you to help them. So now the other reason now I see I'm watching this. Hold on a second. Let me just figure out. If you have any questions, let me know. I was watching. I'm watching this. Okay, so I think my audio was again, there was something wrong with my audio. So can you hear me now? Okay, I think the sound is better now. Should be better now. Technology never makes you feel confident. Okay, so can you guys hear me? Okay, so there's something going on. Okay, doesn't look like the live session is going well. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me just, I'll be right back. Let me just figure out what's going on. Okay, I'm back. I'm not sure if the live session is going well or not. There's something going on. So 5 are watching now. So guys, can you tell me please if you can hear me or see me or everything is okay? Because I have no idea if I'm live. Okay. All right, so let's continue. So I think I'm live, so I'm going to continue. All right, number 1 was they're giving you the signal that your dog is giving you the signal that you are not happy. There's something going on with your life. Number 2 is that you're selecting too many training methods. There are too many methods out there. There are too many dog trainers that you are, bombarded with information. For example, all these ideas of, domination, being alpha, positive reinforcement, negative reinforcement, all these things can cause, you to think one is saying that, one is saying that. Caesar is one of the very famous dog trainers in the world now, and he's been criticized and also he's been loved. Dr. Ian Dunbar, he used to be very well known, and he's still involved in dog training, and he is still going on it, but he's a positive dog trainer. And then there is the Victoria Stilwell, that she is also a positive dog trainer. So you get all kinds of information. One is saying do this, one is saying do that. So it makes you to feel confused. So I would suggest not to pick one from this, one from that, and one from there, and then try to see which one works. I would suggest to pick one dog trainer. So for instance, you're in my channel now, pick my method of dog training, which is basically play and praise reward system, where we don't use tools. So instead of using tools, we use play and praise and reward system. So you have to consider that most dog trainers, they use tools. They suggest you to use some sort of tool. There's shock collars or remote collars, they call them. There's pinch collars that they suggest you to use. There's flat collars, the regular flat collars, which I don't suggest you really to use, but snap-on collar would do. Harness is another tool that they ask you to use. Clickers and also treats. They ask you to use treats and clickers. All these tools can cause you to, have this idea, okay, I will have to use all this. There's dominant dog collar, slip collars, martingale collars, prong collars, halters, buckle collars, no pull harnesses, all these tools and gadgets just to get results from our dogs. The fact is that using tools in general is not necessary. And also, most dog trainers, they force you and they recommend you to use treats. So they're all dependent on tools. So tools in general are not good idea to be dependent. All these methods and tools can cause you to be overwhelmed and be in that position that you feel uncomfortable. I don't know if you feel comfortable using shock collars. Now, I don't think many people feel comfortable using shock collars. It's just not realistic for me to use a tool that may or may not harm my dog. I don't want to focus on that. In general, you don't need to use tools or anything like that. Even methods of domination, being alpha, basically do backfire. They do harm you, your dog, and your relationship with your dog when you use domination. So in overall, any method of dog training that you use, any celebrity dog trainer method that you use, you will have some form of emotional feeling about using those methods. So in general, I suggest you to not to depend on mainly tools or methods. Don't confuse yourself. Don't use this tool, that method, and all that. The next reason I would say is, so that was number 3. So number 2 was, you're mixing methods. Number 3 is you're depending on tools and gadgets to get results. Number 4 is that most dog owners, they don't train their dogs long enough. What I mean by that is, dog training is not something that you spend one day a week, maybe an hour, 45-minute class to attend, or it's not something that you take 6 weeks of 1 hour class training and that's it, you're done, your dog is trained. Training is a long-term, in a way, it's a long-term task that you have to do with your dog, because it takes a long time for a dog to learn. It takes a long time for a dog to understand what we actually are communicating to our dogs. So when you're desperate and you're cutting corners and you think that you've done everything and nothing is working, and you start saying that I've gone to classes and I've done this, I've done puppy class and I've done intermediate level, and yet or basic obedience and then intermediate level 1 and 2, and I'm still not getting results. That's because training is realistically is something that you have to continue for a year at least in the beginning, and then start reducing it to, every few months or every few years you have to take a refresher course. You have to continue uh, um, training your dog. It never ends. And number five reason is because your trainer or your dog trainer is forcing you or encouraging you to, or pushes you to use um, different methods and tools and things like that, which I don't recommend you to be overwhelmed by your dog trainer in a way that it makes you or pushes you to use methods or tools that you're not comfortable. You always have to feel comfortable doing, and when you're dealing with your dog, especially when it comes to training. When you're training your dog, you have to make sure that you're comfortable using that method or those tools. If you have to use tools, you have to feel comfortable using those methods in general. Do you feel comfortable doing this to your dog? Does your dog feel comfortable or accepts that method? You have to, in general, understand that it's your dog and it's your life. Your trainer can't force you to do something. If you don't like what your dog trainer is telling you or is suggesting you, be honest and tell that dog trainer that, you know what, I don't feel comfortable doing this. This is not something that I would do. If your dog trainer is telling you to use shock collars or to use treats, be realistic. Do you really feel comfortable using those tools? Do you feel comfortable dominating your dog? In general, we don't have a say when it comes to training. We just take whatever the dog trainer is telling us. Because dog training in general is not a regulated business. Anybody can call themselves trainer. I call myself dog trainer. I call myself that I coach dog owners. But at least I have 12 years up to 15 years, about 15 years experience working with dogs and dog owners. So at least I have some experience and I know what works and what doesn't work. And I have created a method that it's more realistic when it comes to dogs and dog training. This is something that we have to realize and understand and accept and take it and implement it and actually encourage dog owners to get involved with dog training. But most dog owners, because they have to use methods and tools and things that they don't really feel comfortable, they give up on dog training. Eventually the dog pays for it. So myself, I'm a dog trainer who is trying to change this this ideology of dog training in general. The saying is that if you put 3 dog trainers in a room, the only thing that they're going to agree on is the other 2 are wrong, right? So it's something that everybody has their own opinion. But the thing is that you have to understand that dog training is not regulated. Anybody can call themselves dog trainer. Myself, I've taken the steps to become a certified dog trainer, so I can have something to back me up when it comes to training dogs. And my experience is telling and showing that we need to change the way we train dogs. We have used different tools, we have used different methods, and none of them have worked. Nothing has worked when it comes to training dogs. Nobody, years ago, when was it, 12 years ago or something, somewhere around there, when Cesar Milan came to the public eyes, I thought thank God, finally somebody is going to change the way we look at dog training, because now billions of people are listening to Cesar Millan. And I thought, Cesar Millan was doing kind of a good job. It at least was talking about, dogs and dog training. And it was making a difference. Now, whether he was using a wrong method of dog training or not, in general, he was making people to think and talk about dogs and dog training. So I thought there would be a big change, there would be that he would be making a difference. But unfortunately, as time went by, that didn't happen. And we still have dogs who have behavioral issues. And I highly believe and strongly believe that the reason for that is because we have so many methods of dog training and so many ideas about dog training that dog owners get confused. They don't know what to do. So I personally, my goal is to simplify dog training and teach you to become an educated dog lover with simple method of play and praise reward system that you can learn all my methods and ideas on my channel. If you watch my channel, if you watch my videos, you'll learn exactly how simple dog training is, and you can simplify. My goal is to simplify dog training and get dog owners excited and start falling in love with dog training. Those are the reasons why you have problem with your dog. One, because you're just confusing yourself with dog training methods and tools and everything that is going on. Two, you are in your mind you think that you've done everything, but there's always room. There's always something else that you can do. For example, you can use my methods, my ideas, and see if those work. But you have to stay with them, with this idea, for a long time. You can't just test it for a day or a week or 2 months and then say it doesn't work. It takes time for dogs to learn. So you have to continue training your dog for years. It's a lifelong transition. It's a lifelong job that you have to do. And don't get overwhelmed and pushed and bullied by your dog trainer that you hire. If you don't like anything that they are saying or teaching you, just let them know. And the last thing that I want to leave you with is focus on not tools or methods. Focus on providing your dog with daily 5 essential needs, which are exercise, training, socialization, care, and then affection. And I've talked about all these in my book, A Dog's 5 Essential Needs, that is available on Amazon. If you have any questions, let me know. Leave those questions in the comments area. If you're new here and you want to become an educated dog lover and have a healthy, happy, well-behaved dog, consider subscribing to my channel and hit the bell icon as well, so you will get notified as soon as I go live or post a new video. Until next time, have fun with your dog.